The process of understanding is very simple. The process is, as I explained last time, I explained more in detail. We are created out of the rays within the center of the universe. In interaction and reduction in strength and division by the strength in certain strength fields, in collection of the totality of the expansion of the universe, some energies, some dynamic fields have come together. Over billions of years, these fields lead to the creation of what we call the sun. Where the plasma gathers together. The same process repeats again because the sun is the same as the energy center of the universe. Now, the heavier, the larger amount of the energy which is collected in this span of the universe, called the sun, that irradiates out, does the same thing again. Radiates its fields out, and in interaction with the itself, with the fields of itself, leads to creation of planet. In that process of the creation of planet, the same process happens again. In the interaction of the fields of the earth with its environment and cooling and exchange with the strength of the other things in the environment of the space of the solar system, leads to creation of man, cell, matter state. And that itself, in coming together and slowing down in such certain ways, as we call, leads to another sun. We call the soul of the man. This is the truth about the life and creation of the man. But if the soul of the man can understand and absorb and be correct with his conduct, he can become the strength of the fields and carry the strength of the field of the planet which came to its creation. And if the soul can understand with the same process, can interact, can be correct, can absorb with itself the totality of the strength of what it needs, he shall become the sun. And then the same soul has the energy that it can absorb within the solar system, within the galaxy, shall become the center of the universe. This happens on earth, we call it the rain. Come from and goes back to. In the solar system, we call it planetary system. We come from the rays, we become the planet and go back to the mother. same thing happens with the galaxies, with the solar systems, which they get absorbed back in and chewed up back into the universe. The life, the process of existence in the universe is the same. It doesn't matter on what exchange and what extent. So, what is the man fighting for? Why do we fight for something which has come from the point of the creation, and in the process it goes back to the creation? The soul of the man, as the energy of the earth, gives the face of the man, the face of the earth, and that process is the same for the soul of the man. Our soul, in reduction in strength, in interaction with the emotion of the field of the environment, leads to manifestation of the existence of the man. But once it's completed, does it need the face? Or can it be and becomes free from it, what we call the soul of the man, to be free and detached from its existence? Our soul is part of the process of the creation. The key to one question for man shall be in the future to be answered. As we saw the sun became the earth, and as we saw the earth became the man's soul, what will be the destiny of the soul of the man now becomes free at the point of departure from physicality? Would it become the sun for creation of another life, or many lives, or correction of lives? This shall be, and this is how it happens. When you create a soul which is not correct, which is misconduct by itself, cannot give, you lead to the creation of this next cycle of creation, which has started the wrong way, the wrong strength. This is one thing the man has never understood. You become the creator of another universe, another cycle. And this is what you have to judge with the instruction of the soul of the man. What would I like that cycle to be? In the physical life, we create children. In the dimension of the life of the soul of the man, what that man, what that soul will create. If man has thought up to now, that's it, my end, my point, when I die is finished, there's as much fallacy that when the sun is destroyed in any shape or form, there shall be nothing left. But we know the parts of the sun becomes part of the galaxy and becomes part of new life. So shall be the soul of the man. The judgment of the man has to be according to what he sees the future his soul can conduct to be. The day of judgment is for the man, not in front of the Creator. That what my soul judges to be and what shall create. Man never understood and shall never understand till can solve this dilemma within itself. The reality is very, very, very real. And that is, as we've seen, the energy of the galaxy becomes the sun, the energy of the sun has become the earth, and the energy of the earth has become the soul of the man. so shall be the soul of the man, which is the energy itself, another cycle of life. How can you change when you don't understand? How can you change the process of understanding if you do not understand the process of the creation? Do we need to extend the understanding of the man, that what is the future he brings? We care about our children, what education they get, what they wear, how happy they'll be, where they sleep. Now the man has to be careful and consider, what life shall my soul create? Because those are the children of your soul. As we see, the rays of the sun has become a planet and 7 million children of it. 7 billion unlimited, which is growing. So the soul of the man will go through the same process. How many billions and subdivisions and sub-matter state of the physicality of the man your soul shall create? Would it be the soul of wars and conflict and ever killing? Or would it be the soul of this, let's say, solar system, which is peaceful? This is the truth and the reality about the soul of the man. First of all, as I said many times recently, we never understood that the soul of the man is within the structure of the man. And now that we understood, we understand on departure from the physicality of the man, the same process will carry on as it did for a star, planet, and the soul of the man becomes another energy source, a higher order, which itself leads to the creation. It becomes the star, it becomes the center of the new cycle of creation. This is what the human race has to understand. The cycle actually starts at the point of death and not finishes at the point of death. In so many ways, if one understands, is as the dusts, specks of dust came together to make the earth in the solar system, so has the specks of the atoms has come to be the creator of man. And the essence of the creation of the specks of dust on the solar system has led to the creation of the man. So shall be the fields from the soul of the man, which lead to creation of another cycle of life. What kind of life man would like to have, to be created by his soul? This is the day of judgment. This is what man never understood. Now you have to understand. You have no choice. Up to today you were not aware of it. From today you are aware of it. You are responsible for it. Your conduct has to be to elevate your soul. That in elevating the soul, what you become the creator of stands correct in the conduct of the citizens. We don't give fairy tale. This is the truth about it. As you've seen, the process does not stop with one sun. The cycle carries on. It's very interesting in how humanity, now knowing the fact, will handle the fact. It'll take decades for man to understand, and then you understand those who become the tools of war, the tools of conflict. They have less, they have nothing to start with. They have to become the dust in the solar system of the others till the day they learn more, as they cannot create a new cycle through their own soul. This is the elevation of the soul of the man. To be part of the creation of a beautiful life for the next cycle. When you don't have it, you have to become another cell in the body of the structure of the bigger, for you to be just there that you can run when you could have been the soul of the man. They say, do not create fear. I give you the point of love for creation. If you cared about your children on this planet to have the best, your true children come out of your own soul in the coming time. How would you like to educate them? How would you like to be when you are in conflict with yourself and the cause of so much mayhem? This is the truth, and a man will take a long time to understand, as now that we understand the soul of the man is an operator for the creation of the future extent of the life of the man. Whatever is gathered by the soul at the end becomes his point of reference of his own creation, of his own dimension. But the strangest thing is, what he creates from his soul shall become the creator of the other souls. This is the beauty about the creation, and one understands it, understands no limitation. Any questions?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 399th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, September 23rd, 2021. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond. I'll be host today, once again, in this weekly workshop series. And as Leanna has said in one of the chats, can you guys believe we are at 399 Knowledge Seekers workshops? Wow, it is incredible. Thank you, Mr. Keshe, for all you have given us. So thank you, Leanna, for that. And speaking of Mr. Keshe, are you ready to begin today's workshop, Mr. Keshe?
Yes, good morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of Knowledge Seekers of the Keshe Foundation. You're welcome back to another 399th session, and maybe we learn a little bit more. I asked for the intro to be played about the soul because today we bring a distinct line between what is in the intro and what is with the process of extension to the knowledge of the man. Up to now, when we spoke about the soul living the body of the man as a light to become another plasma, to become the source of creation of another cycle of life, another seed for the cycle. This is what the knowledge was. This is what we could teach you till then. With a new understanding of past few weeks, there is an extension to this teaching. There is an extension to this understanding. Up to then, as you understood, you could leave the body, and that was the beginning of another cycle in the process of the gathering of the energies of the field of universe within the cocoon of the brain, a black hole, which when its energy released became a universe, it became a galaxy, it became a star. But that was beginning of a cycle. Now what we have taught you in the past few weeks is you don't go through that process. We showed you another process to be able to move the soul to dimensions and positions where you want without becoming a star. You still be in charge, you still as part of you. You come to travel with the light, to manifest yourself in another point and destination, but this time you have a control. The soul of physicality of the man has chosen not to separate totality in essence from his soul. We travel from London to Tehran. We still get the same physical body when we arrive, when we left. In this process, we travel with the light and stop using the means of transportation of today. We use the means of transportation which is embedded with us. When we arrive in Tehran, we are still us, the same clothes, the same suitcase, the same hairdo and the rest of it. But this time when we travel to the position of the destination in the universe, because of the different conditions and atmosphere, we have to manifest ourselves in a different way. We move from London. It's beautiful and sunny, and we land in Tehran. It's snow and rain. We put the jacket on, we put the raincoat on. We adapt ourselves to the new environment that we feel good. But when we arrive to the point of destination, traveling with the soul of the man, what happened then? This is what I put in the other teachings the past few weeks. What then? What is our manifestation then? 2 arms and 2 legs does not suffice. An eye and lips and mouth and taste has no meaning. What then? How do we manifest ourselves? What then? Or do we manifest ourselves in the dimension of physicality, of the point in that place? And now we see the soul coming to us. The body is different, but the soul is the same. The body has changed to the dimension of the environment, but the soul is the same. The soul of physicality and the soul of the man are the same, but the physicality has changed to suit the place. What then? What do we do? What happened when you touch one part of your body and is a stranger to you? Because this is not a body you had 2 arms and 2 legs on earth. What then? How do we adjust ourselves to the new texture, to the new feature, to the new shape? Can we accept it? Can we understand still us? Is still within it is the soul of the man which created the seeds of it on earth. And now he hasn't come to demise, he's chosen a new place, a new dimension, a new environment. What then? They speak different languages and they have different understanding of communication. What then? Do we have to go to classes as a foreigners to go to learn the language? Or by approaching and then reaching the point of physicality, we carry the knowledge, we carry the essence of the creation at the point of time. As I said before, those who enter the dimension of the physical transmutation through the soul of physicality, going from London speaking English and into Tehran speaking Farsi, they naturally transmute to. They know the language, the way the Hafiz al-Zan, the poetry, the love of the language. What then? Would we understand the poetry of the land where we land in the space of the universe? Or we are foreigners? Or we have to go to night classes to learn language, to understand the culture, to be given a visa to be able to stay. As our language and our culture is so better than the others, if you don't understand it, you're not allowed to stay. But when you learn in the dimension of the soul and the dimension of physicality, you carry every attribute of the place, the time and position. You know the culture, you know the language, you know the way to communicate, and you know how to be. Because your soul has been allowed to exist, so the soul of the environment and the community and where you landed gives you everything, like the way a mother teaches everything to the child, but in the dimension of the soul. You never need to learn anything, as is part of you, as your soul has been accepted. And then, what's that? Would you fall in love with a dimension of existence? Would your DNA change? Because in that position and time, you need different composition to be able to survive. What then? How would it feel? It's like waking up a coma. And in the process of being in coma, they have done different operations. They took the skin from your leg and they put it on your hands, and the feeling is different. This is not the feeling I knew. This is not the touch I knew. It's different. I feel I'm there, but the physicality is not the same. I feel it's me, but the physicality, the touch, the smell is different. What then? How would man cope with this? Or would you freak out and return back to earth because this is what I know, this is what I want to have and stay? What then? How would your soul of physicality, the dimension of the soul of the man, accept the new condition, the new touch, the new smell, the new emotions, the new language, and you find yourself fluent in it before even you talk? What then? Then wouldn't man become the true man of universe and truly has joined the universal community? Or do I become, or do we all become the expat, as we call it? We travel with UFOs and we gather together, and when we land in a place on the moon or another position, we all stay together because we are humans. We carry the physicality of human and we walk around with a mask and a spacesuit because we don't want to go through the transition. We go to night classes and learn, and we try to understand new language, and we open new dictionaries. There are no dictionaries in the dimension of the soul of the man, as he understands all languages of the universe, as is connected to all through his emotion. The position comes, what then? The truth is, what then? When the soul of the man finds a new physicality to handle it, to be in touch with, to accept to be the new dimension. As I said to you, those of you who've been around the foundation, different teachings, the messengers of God go through this phase. They get born in the physicality of the man at a point and a time and a dimension the soul of the Creator moves within. They feel strange, the physicality doesn't fit the body. And in so many ways, the physicality does not connect, but it has to, because the soul of the physicality has come to touch and has come to fall in love with the soul, which has taken a new place. It's a new touch you got to get adjusted to. It's a new feeling, a new body. It's a strange emotion. And then what then? All messages of Creator go through the same when the soul of the Creator moves within their soul. Their physicality overnight has to accept the new soul, which has got taste to another dimension of life. And now everything is strange to the soul of the man and to the soul of physicality. But physicality is there, and he has and he needs to handle the condition of the new soul within it. What then? Then the Creator speaks through the physicality of the man, as that's the only way it can be done. This is the way the messages of God release and inform the others as they go through the same. They lead, they create, they receive the enlightenment through the soul. But that enlightenment is not just a message sometimes. Sometimes it's the soul of the Creator within their soul, and the body is a stranger to them. It feels different. The feeling, the touch is not the same. But the soul and physicality and soul of physicality have to understand the new touch, the new way to connect, the new way to interact. And then, according to the understanding of the time and the space and the soul, different evolution of the cycle of the soul of the man starts. More educated. Then it connects to the other souls, to them, for them to be educated. As you've been in other teachings, I have explained, I've been through this 3 times to receive the final understanding. When you get up, when you wake up, the body is a stranger to the soul. The touch is not there. It's not what I went to sleep with. This is not what I had. And it takes days to get used to. But you still carry on. You still try to live a normal life, but inside there is a war. This is not me. I don't feel the same. I don't touch the same. I don't speak the same. I don't understand the same. Then, what happened then? What happens to you when you land on a point and destination, the new physicality? You have to adjust to be able to survive within the environment of the time, position, space, and the strength of the field. What then? Would you accept the new changes? Or would you go through the cycle of the understanding? Where on earth every 24 hours was one day, and now every 1,000 hours is one day. Where am I going to find my 8 hours sleep? Where am I going to find the dimension of the communication? Or on this planet, 1,000-hour day, there is no sleep because there is no need for. What then? What and how would you feel then? Miss home, go back to the dimension of the soul and soul of physicality and return back home to earth. Or accept, live, enjoy, and understand a new position and create a new life. It might last you 1,000 years one day. When you come back, those citizens of the earth, long gone in the dimension of physicality, and those who took the dimension of the soul come back, and if you see them, they're still the same 1,000 years later. This is how we survive for thousands of years on this planet. We change the frock of the physicality to another dimension, to manifest ourselves in the shape of Moses, Christ, Muhammad, or the best. But in essence, it's the same soul. The same dimension of soul of physicality. The same essence of the Creator. The knowledge, the understanding. Now you understand why we teach this way. That the man understands the new dimension of existence once you decide to choose the path of the transportation and transmutation through the soul of the man, and not through the dimension of physicality of the matter state of the man. Life is different. And then, when you become the citizen of the new place, what then? Would you call mom? Would you call your lover? Would you call your child to come with me and see what a beautiful place is? And would they come to see you? Would you be able to transmute to them the essence of the language and the knowledge of the position and the place through the soul and the connection you have with your loved ones to them, that they see the beauty of the new place and they join you? Mom, come to Tehran, it's so beautiful. I leave London and I get on a plane. This time I get on my soul with the speed of the light of the universe. I arrive to see what beauty my son sees. What have I missed that the new dimension has brought? This is the truth that many of you will face in the short time to come. This is what many of you have to choose. This is what none of you who accepts the transmutation through the soul can escape from. As I said, when you arrive at a point and destination, What happens if you choose a civilization in knowledge and technology years and years ahead of man? The knowledge man never knew. And you come back home and you want to start a new technology to teach you others about what you have seen and what you can teach, that they become as advanced to do what they do. In the recent talks in the United Nations, we hear that His Excellency President Biden speaks about new technology. New technology. We need new technology. The Keshe Foundation is that technology that the world leaders are looking for. And they're being on the table of talks. Technology in exchange for peace. The knowledge of universe on the table for man. If the man become a peaceful man, what then? What is the essence of it? Why do we create all these physical interactions to just get to some, to bring the change that all understand? Can we reach the soul of all those who created on this planet and elevate them in one point? No, man has to learn it himself. Man has to understand that it's he who has to go through the evolution. It's he who has to understand the language of universe. Is who he wants to be in the dimension of existence, anywhere in the universe. Be the same in the soul and soul of physicality. It doesn't matter what the frog outside changes. 2 hands, 10 arms, 15 legs. No difference. The true man is the man who lives a simple life, but has the wealth of the universe. The true man is the one who never changes if sits on the table of the kings or the peasants. Still is the man. It's the way we teach you and it's the way we live. Now mankind has to understand what is for him to come. The king is the creator. And the man, the peasant, is the physicality of the life we choose anywhere in the universe. The soul is the same. The understanding is the same. Is what we carry within us which counts. What we give and we share is what we understand that's within us. The soul of the creation, the soul of knowledge, the soul of understanding the totality, the soul of being part of, the soul of being equal, one. This is one of the reasons we create one nation, one planet, one race. As it's not just for the man, it's the same across the universe. There is one race across the universe. It's one nation. And it's only one creator. It's just we change it to the word and time and the place that the citizens of the place and time understand and can relate to. But in essence, the truth is the same across. It's just what you understand, what you grasp to be and part of. As I said in the teachings of the past, what then? What then we want to be? What then we bring to the environment we become part of? What then we bring as a love to give and promote and share with the new citizens of our soul? Mankind needs to understand the process of the change. Mankind needs to understand the process of what is to come. And then there will not be then. There'll be all the same. Irrespective of wearing the frock of a peasant or a king. We saw it with the Christ as a king, and we saw it with Muhammad as a merchant. But in fact, the soul within them was the same soul, and within the soul of the present prophet. In a way, you have to understand, changing the frock does not change the man when it comes to the soul of the Creator. He chooses the frock, he chooses the physicality, but he sets the path. But when he leaves The soul of the man, due to the failures of the man, we see the manifestation of the Moses, the killing machine, the most devastating soul ever existed in a dimension of time and place. 1 minute the king, and 1 minute a killing machine. This is why the love of God has been taken from the tribe of Moses, as his children never learned what was taught to them, Father, and they repeated the same. We test the fire of gold, and we test the man to see how good the man is when we put him in front of gold. Would he change? We tested the tribe of Moses again in past decades, and they failed again, and they became the same killing machine as their master. So we end this tribe, that this blood cannot exist if the dimension of the killing could not be erased from the essence of creation. In a time, no one should know this dimension and the name of Moses, as it's better to be in the love of Christ and Muhammad than those who have become killing machine in their name. Mankind has to learn the same when it becomes the passengers of the space. Never touch, never take what is not given to you, and at the same time, when you're given to, respect it, love it, care for it, and mature it. And this is the way the Creator lives. And then it comes, what then? What then if after staying in a dimension, position, and place for a while, and you decide, it was a nice place. I want to see the other side of the universe. I want to go to another universe. I want to see more of the Creator's dimensions. Now, hop back into the soul of physicality and hop back into the soul, and then take another journey to another place and dimension. But in essence, within the soul of the man stays the soul of physicality with no dimension of destruction. Nothing but love. Nothing but the love of the Creator. And then, let's say you appear in another dimension where the man was some thousands of years ago. And as you've seen a lot, and as you've seen the changes in the universe and you chose it yourself, you become knowledgeable in front of the nomads. And you can teach them about the cars, and you can teach them about the communications, but you can teach them about transportation and transmutation through the soul. Which one would you teach? Would you let them to go through the process of physicality and suffering to educate them over thousands of years? Or you teach them directly the essence of the creation of the soul, transportation and transmutation through the soul of the man. Then, what then? Would you become the true teacher? Would you become the true knowledge seeker, that in seeking the best for those you teach the knowledge becomes the advantage for them to live, to become better being, to become a new dimension in life? What then? What then if you decide after a while, when you educated all these, you go to another place? You come to a new city, to a new dimension, a planet or a dimension in space that there is no physicality, except that dimension of the fields of the universe. And what then? In essence, man should stay the same. Does not matter where and how he manifests himself. Man has to become the man of peace, the man of love, the man of Christ, and the man of Zoroaster. Think good, do good, and everything will be good. Because you will not talk. Because you communicate through the dimension of the soul, understanding does not need talking. In essence, how do we live? In essence, how do we find the new cycle of life for us, where the demise and the separation has not come the way man dies in the new dimension? Without his control is decided by outside. This time we decide. The dimension of the soul of physicality decides the dimension of the position, space, and time where the soul will manifest itself. The soul becomes the craft, and the soul of physicality within becomes the captain and decides, hey soul, let's land on this planet. Hey soul, let's see how will it feel if we become physical in this space and time when there is no planet. Would we see new creation? Would we see a new civilization which has chosen to live without dimension of the planet and physicality, but in dimension of the fields of the universe? Mankind will live and will come to these tribes. They are the most beautiful things you ever see, the most peaceful tribes, the most peaceful creation ever done by the Creator. Those of you who have the privilege to come across what are called cultures of the universal energy and fields in the culture of entity of community, you have in essence touched the physicality and the dimension of the thought and emotion of the Creator. As they have no dimension of physicality, they have a peaceful life and they will teach your soul. Not many will ever be lucky enough to come across these, across the travels of the universe and universe. But when you come across them, you are privileged because you come closest to the way the Creator as the fields of the universe exist. They don't need to do anything. They receive as He passes them, and they give as they don't need. And they don't need a dimension of physicality that one day they might see their demise. They live for billions of years, and some of these tribes come from the time of the first fields of the creation. The old, the ancient, that's what we call the Koan. The real term, time, life, going back to the time of the Creator. The first fields where there was no dimension of physicality and still has not taken shape. The fields are so much higher that they don't need to convert to any dimension. In the dimension of the soul of physicality. Count yourself lucky if you manage to travel in the dimension of the soul and then you ever come across the true life without dimension of physicality within the span of the universe. When you come across these communities, you feel them, you love them, and they love you, and with it they give you the knowledge of the universe in one instance, as their fields and the span of their fields covers the whole of Unicos. And then, if you're lucky enough and you have elevated to the point of understanding through them, you shall see the fields of the Creator. You become lucky to be in touch, to be able to feel the emotions of the Creator, the love which is overwhelming for every soul which ever created and being created. This is what then is. What then? What is the future of the man in space? What then? What is the future of the man in traveling in the dimension of the soul? What then? Would man in the dimension of the soul create the children of the Unicos? And with it starts a new cycle. A new cycle of life, which lives in understanding the dimension of physicality and the dimension of the soul from the outset, from the beginning, the Mitra. Understanding the soul of unique, complete life in time mankind will understand the teaching of today. In time, we have shown you from A to Z. What then? What then will be, and how then shall be controlled by the soul of the physicality of the man embedded with the soul of the man, where the interaction of the two creates the emotion of the physicality or the emotion of the light in transportation and transmutation of the universe. The question for the knowledge seekers is, shall I let the soul separate from the dimension of physicality of the physical light and be what we know as death? Or shall I allow my soul and the soul of physicality to become the passenger of the universe, that one day, when the two agree, I'll go through the process of the soul of the man to become that star? Or in the process of what then? In gathering more fields of the universe, in understanding that you receive as you give, then instead of a star, you become the fields of a universe. You become the field creation of the galaxy. And then you become part of the structure of the universe. What then? Go through the path of the mankind to the dimension of physicality, and you might become the seed of the sun. Or go through the dimension of the transportation, transmutation, understanding and educating your soul, and become the soul of the universe. This time, the choice is man's choice. This time, the life will change in the dimension that the man cannot understand, but the soul of the man is fully aware of his existence. What then? That then is today in front of you. That then is what is facing you right in your face. Do I want to go through the separation of the totality of the physicality and the soul at the point of death? Or I decide that I collaborate and I live within the strength of the soul of the man and the soul of physicality of the man, and have the opportunity, maybe, the gratitude to see the fields of the creation of the Creator in the dimension of the universe. And then maybe my soul will separate in that dimension and directly become part of the soul of the Creator. And then I made man in the image of myself, as the man has become me and part of me. What then? What then that the lies and the rays of the love of the Creator, the spanning the spans of the universe, leads to creation of another man through the soul of the Creator, maybe on planet Earth. And then, what then? The cycle never finishes. It's the man who decides in which part of the trip to get out of the bus, and decide to live at this bus stop and spend sometimes here till the next bus or the bus tomorrow, while I'm enjoying the scenery of the new bus stop, the new point and dimension. And maybe tomorrow or next month, I'll get on the bus and move to the next city, next village, next destination to start with life. This is the story of the soul of the man in the dimension of understanding the soul of physicality. Maybe we have brought from the A to Z of the vocabulary of the understanding of the creation to you today. If you understood, if you're mature enough to understand what is to come, what then? Where does the limitation stops? And where does the limitation start? And then ask yourself, why mankind has been choosing such a suffering on this planet for hundreds of thousands of years, for a short time of a few seconds of the time of the universe, to become the seed for another point dimension and life. Maybe because the soul of the man carries the love of the soul of the Creator within it. And that love tolerates all till it reaches the point of totality to become the teacher of the rest in the dimension of the universe. Preparing the soul of the man to become the teachers of the future. But this time, a good teacher, understanding everything and a peaceful teacher. As I said in the past teachings, the new teachings are very deep if one understands. And if one does not understand, it's again the same as that is. Just a sound, just a voice and a fairy tale for those who live in the dimension of physicality of the man. In understanding the totality, mankind has to come to understand the position, time and space of the universe. His position within the universe, the position of his soul of physicality and the soul of the man. And then maybe we have time to teach you more. Maybe then we can teach you the essence of the creation and the creator. Today's teaching is very deep if you understand it, and today's teaching is much closer to understanding the creator and the travel of the man in depth of the universe. Do not listen to the words. Understand the essence, and you'll be enlightened. Thank you very much for today. Rick, if you would like to go through a break, then we come back.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. Thank you very much for that. And we'll take a break here with some commercial messages from our Keshe Foundation store, and be back in a few minutes. Thank you, everyone.